V with an A, put it together, separate it, it's all okay, it's all the same. And Greywater refers to water, in particular, coming out of your laundry, because you don't even need to pull a permit to be able to do that, take your laundry to landscape, and we'll talk about the mechanics of that. But Greywater also refers to water that comes out of your bathroom except for the toilet. That's the black water. So the bathroom sink or laboratory sink, the tub, the shower, those are all gray water. And then we get into a little gray area around Greywater with regard to kitchen sinks and dishwashers. And the problem is there that they tend to have more food matter in them, and therefore the wrong kinds of microbes can go to town and cause the water to turn bad for your landscape, and you're more limited. So, stepping back to the bigger picture, what we can do to save water inside, that big fat stream of water you talked about, wanting to make it smaller. When I was my wife and I were going through resilient neighborhoods, we got kind of a competition going in our group about who could take the fastest shower. And there's actually a little timer, a little sand hourglass that some people use. But basically, it really is a frame of mind, and that's what we're all saying here. We wanted people to connect ourselves to nature and water in particular more directly, and realize that we're not this preeminent, species that's made to conquer. We got to get away from that headset. So it turns out that a lot of the water that goes through our water meters that we're paying for is not just that extra water we're using inside, but water in our irrigation systems. So when you call for your free Dan Carney approved inspection, one of the things they're going to do is check and see for your irrigation system whether there's leaks in that. And that's a really important thing to do. Basically, you turn off all the indoor water and then you see is it leaking anywhere else. But the tricky thing about outdoor water underground is that it's hidden. You don't see it. So it's really important to look at it down. But let's go to Greywater itself. And Lauren mentioned Art Ludwig, Oasis Design, here in California. This guy, more than any other I know, probably has devoted his life to promoting Greywater and Greywater systems. And his website, Oasis Design, just has everything under the sun in terms of literature. I went to the San Anselmo Library yesterday. There were 2 copies of his DVD showing the installation of a laundry landscape system donated by the Municipal Water District. And I did check the Fairfax shelves, but basically this is really great. You can get the DVD or you can go online, and he's got videos online too. I have no kickback coming from Art Ludwig. I just know that he's really done a great job of presenting the theory behind Greywater systems, the practice, how to do it. They have parts available if you can't find it, and it's hard to imagine not finding things at the local Fairfax lumber because they do a really great job too. But if you need to special order any particular valves or anything like that, you need tips on which kinds of connections to use. In general, if you can stay away from the PVC pipe and the glue, it's the glue itself that's like most toxic. So if you can use barb connections and just kind of slip them together, pressure fit, that kind of stuff, easier. But they really make it easy to do it yourself. And for myself, in introduction, I was a plumbing contractor for 20 years. I have designed and built Greywater systems in the past. I want to encourage people to do it. I'm not necessarily going to install the system for anybody now, but if you remember my name and you get stuck or you need some encouragement on working on your system, I'd be glad to come and consult on it. Mainly I'm looking at green building and energy in a larger picture, and that's where I've been focusing my efforts for the last half-decade or so. But energy and water are very intimately connected, particularly in the state of California. 20% of our electrical energy that we consume in the state is involved in water, in catching it, delivering it to our homes, using it, recollecting it, treating it, sending it back to nature, hopefully in a reasonably palatable form. A huge amount of energy, not to mention all the water that's pumped out of the delta and sent south for irrigation for southern cities and so forth. Just a tremendous amount of energy, and right now, most of that electrical energy is coming from fossil fuel, in particular natural gas. Other parts of the country are more burning coal, which is dirtier in some ways directly, but it's all energy, and one of the ways we can do by saving on water, we'll save on energy. Saving on cold water saves on energy. Saving hot water saves on energy twice, because you save the energy to move all that water around and deliver it and then take it away and process it, but you also save on the energy it takes to heat it up. So if you ask me about green building, one of the things we can do is be more intelligent about our hot water heating systems at home. But whatever we do, if we use less of that resource, we're going to be doing well by the planet and ourselves. So the simplest form of Greywater system is the coming out of the laundry, because the powers that be have recognized here in California, following the initiative of Arizona and New Mexico, where they really have had serious water problems for a lot longer. So they were kind of the first to move the envelope forward in terms of Greywater systems. What comes out of your laundry, particularly if you're reasonably discriminating about the type of laundry soap you use, is pretty good for your garden. Needs little if any treatment, and the main health concern is that the public health authorities don't want to see puddles of gray water sitting on the surface. They want it to be out of sight, and preferably under a couple of inches of mulch. So the typical thing you do is you figure out a way to divert the water that's coming out of your washing machine, get it outside, get it to the plants around your landscaping that need it, dig little pits in appropriate areas, and put a lot of chunky mulch in there. You can get bark, you can get wood chips for any tree service. We'd be happy to give you the wood chips, okay, for free. The chunkier they are, the better, because they don't break down so quickly. They don't form a sealant at the bottom of your pit to keep the water from going down, leaching down to the ground. So you want to have pretty chunky kind of pieces of wood that provide the space, and again, space in which the water sits, and then it gradually percolates in the ground, and over time the microbes are going to grow on the wood chips and so forth, and in time break them down to allow the purification process to take place. The plants are going to send their roots in there because they're looking for the water, and they're going to be part of the purification process too. You can get more sophisticated and do little ponds that have plants that are intelligently designed to be able to do this. This is what Mother Nature does all the time, but we can take advantage of her wisdom and be able to do this on our property. The nice thing about your washing machine is not only that water is good for the plants pretty directly applied, but it's got a pump in there that can pump, if the water heater is this high, the washing machine is this high, your pump can usually pump another 2 or 3 feet above that without working too hard. You don't want to go beyond that. You can pump more than that, but then you're overworking the pump and you're going to wear it out and you're going to be in for an expensive repair before you want it. But you figure if you can pump a couple feet above the height of your washing machine, then basically anything that's at the height of your washing machine around your property can be serviced with no extra pumping. So basically you go up 2 feet and then it's going to be downhill, you know, 1/4 inch per foot is the old plumbing rule, but basically it'll be downhill from there, and you just need to get outside. Now, if you have your washing machine outside, no problem. If you have it inside, you just need to figure out some way to get out through the wall. There's a requirement for a vacuum breaker, which our league talks about, to make sure that you don't siphon water back into your clean laundry and mess it up. But there are all kinds of hoses and connections and so forth. In general, if you can steer away from the PVC ones with the toxic glue and go with high density polyethylene, HDPE tubing with barb connections, then it's actually an environmentally friendly material in terms of production and in terms of your installation, and it will last a really long time. And basically you're going to do a branching network. You're going to do kind of in reverse what the tree does. The tree has the trunk and the main roots and the branches and the little tendrils that go out and find the water, and what you're going to do is create a system like that takes the water supply from your laundry washer or whatever you're using, and it's going to go out through a trunk line, and it's going to have branches and smaller, and then go to all your little retaining basins around the property, so the water can be there underground, percolating and feeding the plants and making them very happy. I'll also mention that we've had here in the Bay Area, Laura Allen has been a real crusader. She used to call her organization Greywater Guerrillas, but now they've gone so mainstream they call themselves Greywater Action, and GreywaterAction.org is a nonprofit, has workshops as well, and I was really glad to hear about the ones that are coming up here immediately. But also here in the North Bay, there are constantly workshops going on in places where you can learn. And the typical workshop that the Greywater Action Network does is to take somebody's house, and basically you do a Greywater system for you. You build it, you actually do it in the day, and then you go home and you have that expertise to be able to apply it in your own situation. We have Greywater Alliance, which is kind of like Bay Area, so it's a number of organizations that are concerned with Greywater in the Bay Area that feed each other and keep the word going and keep the training going. Greywater Action has a list of installers. They actually have a certification problem. People have gone through and become level 1, 2, 3. I forget which is the top one, but anyhow, they have different levels of certification. And if you look at their website, there are many people nearby. I didn't see anybody right in Fairfax, but in Nevada, Petaluma, people that serve the Marin area. If you want an installer to help you do it, there are many people who have become talented at this and be happy to help you out. And then there's this holyh2o.org that kind of tracks the regulations out on a statewide basis. So you can keep track. How am I doing, Tucker?
You're about ready to wrap up.
Okay, ready to wrap up. So, I hope I've helped you answer a couple of questions. On your quiz here, there was one about laundry and landscape Greywater systems require a permit, true or false? False, very good. And then beyond that, it's a pretty easy extension. And Mark Lockaby, our local building inspector, will be happy to answer questions about what more you might need if you want to get more of your systems. But basically, it's a plumbing issue. If you can figure out a way to divert the water that's coming out of your bathtub or your shower or your bathroom sink and get it to join your Greywater system, it's not that difficult. And the regulations here, I think, Mark would be very in favor of that. And then, which of the following means for a personal watershed, certain law will apply, and Greywater systems is one of those. So you can create your own watershed right on your own property and help reduce the stormwater runoff that causes problems downstream. Thank you. Any questions right now?
Yeah, please. Question.
Yeah.
In terms of diverting water from the bathtub or the bathroom sink to a vegetable garden, are there any pathogens I should be concerned about, and what is the filtration method?
So actually, you probably don't need a filtration method per se.
Awesome.
What you do is you'd be digging these little hollows, filling them with chips, having the water puddle there, and then seep it in the ground. And basically, Greywater is okay on everything, including vegetable water. You just don't want to actually apply it on the plants that are you're eating. It's on the leaves or where the food is growing. But growing, coming through the roots, the soil itself and the root system of the plants are going to do the filtration that you need. How about root crops? Carrots or beets or something like that?
Yeah.
Good question. I would myself not have a problem with that, but you might want to check into that, or we have a...
It's not permitted.
It's not permitted, okay.
Potatoes, carrots, things like that.
Okay, all right, so you're actually in the Greywater itself, so there's too close a connection there. Yes?
I just want to say a little anecdote. When we were having a drought, maybe 10 or 15 years ago, we were siphoning the water from our shower and taking it out into our garden for our new tomato plants. And when the tomatoes, we harvested them in the fall, they were ripe, they were bright, juicy red, they were squishy, they tasted like Can-A soap, it's half So don't do that.
Don't do that, okay.
One more question, maybe.
Well, I was going to ask about that. I Googled it about that to find out what body products are the least toxic and the best for going directly into the garden. And the other part of my question is, I've been collecting the shower water in a 50-gallon tank outside, and it smells.
Yep.
Is there something I can put in there to keep anything growing and keep it from smelling that wouldn't harm the garden?
So in general, Greywater, we want to distribute it quickly. Actually, the state regulations are within 24 hours. You don't want to hold it for any longer than that. So it doesn't smell and putrefy. In terms of laundry detergent for your clothes washer, our Liquid Oasis Design has an Oasis laundry product, and there are others that are similar that are out there that can do the job. They're friendly, great,